Hey everybody, it's Alexia from amysticspath back with another video for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Now, this is not a pick a card reading. I know it's Thursday, but I felt very pulled to do a video on the full moon / lunar eclipse that we have in the sign of Cancer. This takes place tomorrow, January the 10th. And I felt that it was very important to get this video out there, even though I usually do pick a card readings today, because of the fact that it is a lunar eclipse. It is the first lunar eclipse of the year, and it is in the sign of Cancer, no less. Now, our full moons are always about release, and releasing things that we don't want to hold on to and that we kind of want to get rid of before we run into the next moon like the moon phase, starting over again with the new moon, with the fresh energy. And with it being a lunar eclipse, this is very intensified. Emotions are heightened. Now, with it being in the sign of Cancer, this is, already heightened emotion, already, you're already feeling full of emotion, and you may be wanting to cry or be feeling tested because the moon is already in the sign of Cancer, and it is such an emotional sign. And not to mention that the moon rules our emotions. So it's just almost like this big bubble of emotion. And I can see how it could be very hard for some people. Now, I'm not saying that for everyone it's like, depression or anything like that. You may be on the other side of the scale and being full of emotion in a way that these emotions that you may be feeling are good emotions. But nevertheless, there's so much going on here, so much emotional energy, and everything is so super heightened that I felt that it was necessary to get you guys this video and let you guys know what it is that I'm seeing and what it is that I'm feeling for this moon. Now, when I'm looking and kind of feeling the energy, I'm feeling like there's almost a shift or a big change in the dynamic of how you're feeling. A lot of us may be feeling down and kind of overrun with a whole bunch of thoughts, or just kind of feeling defeated, or our energy may be low. And I see this moon as working to change that and kind of flip it around. And some of this change might come in kind of unsuspecting, but nevertheless, it is working to kind of change where you are now with kind of being in a lack of energy, or feeling down, or feeling defeated, or just being overrun with all of the thoughts that you may be having. Okay, now when we get into the cards, we have what emotions want to be honored at this time, and we have the Three of Pentacles, karma, and the Knight of Pentacles. And what I'm really feeling with this is that a lot of us are kind of feeling like, as far as what we're doing in the physical world and what we're trying to create, and I kind of feel like on a career basis that a lot of you may not be where you want to be in your life specifically. So you feel like you should be ahead, or you should have already graduated, or you should be making more money, or you should be, actually in a career, or whatever the case may be. And that you may even feel like that time is slipping away from you, or that you're getting too old. Well, what I'm really feeling within this is that, yes, honor those feelings, but you also have to realize that no matter, with you feeling like this, if you're not taking action on what it is that you want, you're all it's going to just keep getting worse, and then there's going to be regret mixed within this. When we see the Knight of Pentacles, it says to be prepared to go down the road anyways. Be prepared, be practical, and be determined, and be invested in what it is that you're trying to do, no matter what the age looks like, no matter how far ahead that you think that you should be, or what your other people's impressions may be on where you're physically at. Keep working on where you want to go, because if you don't work on where you want to go or what you want to achieve, because you feel like you're losing time, or you feel like you're getting too old, and you're starting to kind of feel like, what's the point? And even if you're not, and that's just kind of like messing with you a little bit, still just get into the point of being determined to get there, because finishing and being at the end goal is literally the important part, not how much time it took you to get there or how old you were when you finished. It's that you actually completed the goal. So get determined, get motivated, and get invested within that. Now, what emotions am I suppressing? And we have the Four of Swords and the Five of Earth. And I feel like with this, a lot of you guys aren't giving credit or even seeking to understand some of the breakdowns that you have went through within, 2019, and all of the transformation that you've undergone, all of the hardships and all of the things that you kind of had to work through that changed you and changed the person that you are. And I feel like a lot of us are not really taking the time to honor and see what it was that breakdown or those breakdowns and that change did for you on a good note, like that there, and to understand it to its core on why it had to happen the way that it happened, to actually know, instead of just seeing all of this breakdown and being upset by all of this breakdown that's still bothering you that has happened, and actually look at it in a way that to seek to see what it did for you, how did it shape you, how did it mold you, what good came out of the breakdown that happened. Because while you're suppressing all of these things that have happened, and the transformation and the fire that you had to kind of go through to transform you as a person, as trauma that has happened, and you're not even giving it kind of a focus point of attention to seek to understand, to see what it is it's trying to do, or it was trying to do to work for you in your benefit. So I see, like, kind of seeing and feeling the need that some of us may have to go within and kind of look at things from a different perspective. Okay, this is what happened. It made me feel like this, but what did I gain from it? What came out that I didn't have before that I wouldn't want to lose now? Things of that nature, and start looking at the emotions that you're suppressing in that way. Okay? Now, what action can I take to honor my emotions? All right, and we have the Death card as well as the Couple. And the Couple is ideally the Lovers card. And what I'm seeing within this is that there is still some release that needs to happen on the things that are bothering you, and the things that make you feel like your love or compassion is tainted or angry and bitter and in a negative sense, and kind of release those things. And it's not the fact of releasing those things, it is releasing the attachment that you feel to what has happened to make you that way. And all of this is working to bring back up your level of love that may have kind of dwindled down from what has happened to you throughout your life, and to kind of gain that unconditional love in a way that is of pure intention, and that is not in any way, shape, or form tainted in any way, and that you can come to a place of pure compassion and pure love and pure joy and be operating from that. Release everything that is keeping you from that. And it's, of course, it's not like, okay, you can just release everything at once, but it's working on this. It's making the commitment and setting the intention to release what's holding you back from operating from true love and true compassion. Okay? And when we're looking at how to honor our emotions in this way, we have to first look at the emotions again and what it is that they're trying to tell us. Literally, what I was just talking about when I was talking about the Four of Swords and the Five of Earth, that breakdown, that transition, that trauma that you had to go through that turned you into a different person. Looking at all of that and seeing again what it is what purpose did it serve? What did it teach you? Okay, what is it? And hold on to that piece of what it was trying to teach you, and then we're working on releasing the rest. But we have to first honor the emotions and seek to see what it is that they're trying to tell us in the first of like a wholeness. And I was actually literally talking about this today, is that when we don't like when we're feeling something, we get this initial reaction feeling, and a lot of times we have to take the time to go within and seek to see how do we feel on a true authentic level. We might feel betrayed, humiliated, or angry, okay, but what is it to the core, deep down to the core of it, underneath the initial feeling of what you want to portray, or not even what you want to portray, or what you have first taken it as, but you haven't internalized it. So we are going through and looking at these things, seeking to understand them, and giving ourselves the time to understand them and work through them in a way that we can release them, and then start operating with love and compassion and optimism, and coming from a place of true unconditional love. Okay, now what is my higher self asking me to reflect on this full moon? And we have the Knight of Wands and Legua. And how I'm seeing this, guys, is that you really need to look at how you are taking action, or how you plan to take action on what you have set out to achieve this year. That you need to not get sidetracked with all of the busy parts of life and how things kind of just overflow, and kind of getting caught up in the craziness, and really check again that determination that I was talking about, and investment in the first placement with the Three of Pentacles and the Karma and the Knight of Pentacles, and checking that and really seeing where you're at with that, and how things need to be tweaked for your determination to still be high on what it is that you're trying to create for this year. Just because we are still in the swing of things in our everyday lives, that does not mean that we lose sight on our goals and what it is that we want to achieve, and what it is that we want to bring into our lives, how we want to shape our lives, and how, and the life that we want to live as a whole. Okay, so make sure that you are kind of reflecting on what is your plan, what action have you taken, how much, where is your motivation level at, checking all of these things. Where would you like it to be at? Where does it need to be at? Where do you need to be at to be able to bring in what it, and still, and avidly work on what it is that you would like to bring in this year, that you had set intentions for. Okay, now, how can I slow down and stay in touch with my emotions? We have the Three of Wands and the Five of Air. And within this, I'm seeing that one, we need, especially with the Three of Wands, we need to look and like actually have like a magnifying glass kind like type energy, and looking at our emotions when like, and he's looking out on the horizon. So he's not waiting until something is blowing up right in front of his face. He's not waiting until that. He's looking as they come into his view from the distance. Like you see the boats, the boats coming in. If you factor the boats in as your emotions, and he's watching them come in, okay, that means that he's not waiting until they get to the forefront with a meltdown to deal with them. He is seeing them as they are entering into his consciousness at the first level, the first sight. So then he does not have that unsuspecting, surprise, that it almost like that this breakdown, or this, emotion, or this blow up, came out of nowhere, and you were just trying to keep your shit together, and then everybody else around you is like, dude, I didn't even see that coming. So we are looking at things when they first appear, so we don't have unsuspected breakdowns or issues, or just blowing up in general. And for a lot of us, I feel like a lot of us are really going to be more in touch with our emotional intelligence this year, that the energy of this year is really working to kind of bring our subconscious to the forefront, so we can kind of seek to understand ourselves and others in a more authentic way. But anyways, I pulled a supporting message for this message as well, and we get the concealment card, dedication, grounding, and boundaries. And within this, I'm seeing that there is still things that, you know, that needs to be released, that you actively need to kind of work through. And within this, we need to take the time. We see the concealment card because we need to take the time to kind of go within and focus on what is going on with us as a whole, and have the dedication and determination to get through that, whatever that may be. If you are full of emotion and you have things to release, have the dedication to release those things so then you can then move forward. Or is it that you need to be in a place of concealment so you can work on what it is that you are trying to create, the doors that you're trying to unlock, the wisdom, the knowledge, the things that you're trying to bring in, and having a dedication towards that and not giving up on that? Maybe that's why you need to retract, or retracting because you are at a high emotional level and there's things that you need to kind of go through and work through. We see the energy of needing to ground ourselves so we're not letting our emotions or our thoughts get us into a place where we can't get our footing and we feel like we're falling apart or kind of floating or drowning. Okay, any of those feelings, we want to keep our, like, feeling like our feet are on the ground and that we are in control of our emotions, our thoughts, and our actions. Okay, now, we also need to focus on our boundaries and what we're letting in and how we're letting people talk to us, how much we are available, how much we are promising, or, like taking on other people's stuff, or whatever it is, whatever your boundaries look like. Make sure that you are in a place where they are strong and that you are not wavering on them because you feel bad or whatever the case may be, that you are keeping your boundaries strong and in balance. Okay, so again, I'm really seeing that, almost like that there's just a lot of the energy of needing to kind of check yourself internally on what it is that you're still holding on to, that you need to release, and to start looking at your emotions as they come in so they don't bother you as strong and as hard. Okay, and that they're not as hard to deal with, that we're starting to understand them and really, really know what they're trying to say, so then we can come from a place of love and compassion, and that we are taking the initiative to avidly work on what it is that we want to bring in so we can start living and continue, for those of you that have already started, to bring in and work towards the person that we want to be, the life that we want to live, and all of this. So even though this moon may be emotional and it has a lot of energy jam packed into it, it is working to change things for you. We see and I'm feeling, the energy of just things changing on how low your energy is and how you feel defeated, and this, just feeling, under pressure. And I feel like this is because this moon is asking us to avidly look at what is bothering us under the surface, instead and getting out of the cycle of just repeating, holding things down, and then a blow up happens, and like this, not toxic cycle, even though it can be, but this cycle that is, it's outdated, that we are conscious enough to be able to be self-aware so we can change that and cut out, you know um not emotional imbalance, but emotional overload, because we are paying attention to ourselves. Okay, now I hope that this video has helped you guys, and that you receive the message that you need to receive, and that you receive the clarity that you need. If you feel that you need a reading specifically for yourself, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'd love to work with you. Everybody have a great day.